Welcome everyone. We are going to go ahead and get started laying on our backs. Finding a nice comfortable position here with knees bent, feet flat on our mat. Feet are going to be about hip distance apart. Hands, one on the belly, one on the chest. Closing your eyes if you want to, and just settling into our mat here. Taking some nice deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Making sure that your exhale is nice and exaggerated, it's audible. Almost as if you're blowing out your birthday candles. Being able to hear your own breath throughout the whole class. Taking your attention to underneath your hands, feeling where your breath is coming from, if it's coming more from your belly or more from the chest. And just observing here, so not one over the other, but just...
Madeline, sorry, you have to unmute yourself. I just muted you by accident. Sorry about that.
There we go. All right. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep, you're all set.
Okay, perfect. So, as we were just taking some nice deep breaths here, on this next exhale, really starting to connect our breath with some gentle activation through our belly. So as you exhale, just thinking about connecting our rib cage down to our hips. Maybe feeling everything coming in towards the center, in towards the midline. And as you inhale, just relax and release that sensation. If one hand is on the belly and one hand is on the rib cage, thinking about as you exhale, those hands are just coming closer together. Nothing particularly is changing in the position of the spine. It's staying nice and neutral, meaning not actively pressing the low back down and also not actively arching the back. It just maintains that natural curve. On this next exhale, I want you to hold that gentle activation in your center and continue normal breathing, being able to still expand your rib cage as your hands observe some tightening underneath of them. Appreciating that we're still able to breathe normally and activate our center at the same time. Thinking about how we can transfer this to day-to-day life. Sitting, standing, walking, driving. Trying to make it as automatic as possible to have our core engaged during all of those activities. Holding this activation here, just relax the arms down by your sides. We're going to start off with one of my favorite exercises, our knee fallouts. So, with this one, we're going to have our left leg be absolutely frozen, meaning that the left knee is not moving 1 centimeter, wobbling to the side. We're trying our best to really keep it still. And then the right knee is going to gently fall out to the side, only as far as you can while controlling it through the pelvis and through the left leg. One thing that you might notice as we continue just dropping the right leg only, maybe you're using your left foot to stabilize that leg. If so, see if you can lighten up that left foot as if it's floating on a cloud. Continuing with just letting that right knee fall gently out to the side and back up. Our breathing here is inhaling as you open and exhaling as you close. Few more on this side. Good. Taking it right back up to the top, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now, keeping the right leg absolutely frozen, the pelvis absolutely frozen, and while the left knee slowly drops out to the side, anchoring down with that right hip, keeping everything stable. Inhaling as you open, exhaling to close. Another reminder to keep that right foot nice and light on your mat. You're not using that to stabilize. Good. A few more like this. Maybe hands are observing that gentle activation through your belly. Last one. From here, we're going to try to alternate sides. So, we're going to have to turn on and off certain muscles on the right side and left side. So, alternating one side, dropping down, and then the other. Thinking about how we can apply this to things like walking, how we have to engage certain muscles on one side, and then switching sides. Almost like a nice little coordination for our brain. All the while maintaining this nice neutral position through our spine, through our core. Last one on each side. Inhaling open, exhaling close. Last one. Good. From here, we're going to take it into our second level here. So, same thing that we'll do, except this time we're going to be in our tabletop hold. So, lifting one leg up and then the other, taking a moment here to just settle into this position, maintaining that neutral spine, belly button pulling in, knees directly over top of your hips. From here, starting with just the right leg, few inches out to the side while the left stays frozen, and back in. With this one, if you feel yourself tilting to the side, don't go quite as far down. Last one here, and back up. Now the right leg stays frozen while the left comes out to the side. Ask yourself if this is easier to do on one than the other. Last one. And then from here, we're going to alternate sides. So, one and then the other. Relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. And last one. Hug those knees into your chest. Maybe rocking from side to side, maybe giving yourself little circles here. Perfect. Feet are going to come back down, finding your mat about hip distance apart. From here, starting off with a few sets of some bridges, inhaling through the nose to prepare. As you exhale, tilt your tailbone up and slowly start to peel one vertebrae off at a time. We're going to go into about a halfway lift here. So finding a halfway point and then slowly lower it down. Tailbone is the last thing to touch. Really thinking about how you can pull your lower abs into this motion. So ask yourself if you can feel your lower abdominals kick in on that initial lift and that last bit of lowering. It should feel almost like you're trying to zip up a tight pair of pants. Good. Slowly lower. On this last one, hold with that halfway lift. No pressure or tension in the neck. We're going to start to tap the toes, lifting them up towards the ceiling. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Toes down, heels are going to lift up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels come down. Toes are going to tap again, but this time from right to left. So toes tap right, toes tap left. Switching sides. Last one. Find those toes back to the center. Slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. From here, we're going to hug our right knee in towards our chest. Roll that ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. From here, as we relax both arms down by our sides, we're going to try to keep that knee in as close towards the chest as you can. We're going to exhale and lift those hips up, pressing down through the left heel. Good, and lower. 2 more just like that. Exhale, lift, and lower. Last one here, hold at the top. We're going to exhale and press that right knee nice and long and straight, reaching. Inhale it back in. 2 more like that. Exhale, press, reach long. Inhale in, last one. Good. Slowly roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. Taking your hands, clasping them underneath that right knee. Exhale, straighten out that leg as much as you can, and then bend it back down. Exhale, squeezing the front of the leg to lengthen the back of the leg, and back down. Last one here. From here, we're going to hold that leg as straight as you can. Small little circles with your ankle. And then reverse directions, maybe feeling a pulling sensation, those nerves running down the leg. And then from here, relax your arms down by your sides. And we're going to start to rotate through this top leg here. So toe pointing in, and then toe pointing out. Going from an internal rotation of the hip to an external rotation. Trying to isolate this motion here. Still engaging those lower abdominals, so think about those helping you out here. On this last one, hold here with toe pointing in, heel out. We're going to start some small circles about the size of a tennis ball or a baseball. Thinking about this leg spiraling up towards the ceiling, and then reverse directions. For 3, 2, 1, and bend that knee back in, placing the right foot down. From here, holding onto the left knee, hugging it in toward your chest. Take a few rolls with the ankle, clockwise and counterclockwise. And then as you release your arms down by your side, hold that knee in as close to the chest as you can. Taking weight into your right heel now. Exhale, press those hips up. Inhale it back down. 2 more like that. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. On this last one, hold lifted. Exhale, press that right or left knee to straight. Reach it long. Inhale it back in. Exhale, press. Lengthen. Inhale in. Last one. Perfect. Back into the chest. Lower the hips down. Clasping underneath the knee here. Exhale, straighten out that leg as much as you can. And bend back in. If you're able to get all the way straight, maybe give yourself a little bit more of a hug in towards your chest. You should be pressing the back of the knee against your hands. Maybe feeling some shakiness coming through the leg. On this last one, hold straight. Little circles through the ankle, maybe getting some pulling sensations through the nerves, reverse directions. And then from here, lower the hands down by your sides, starting to rotate through the hip socket, toe pointing in, heel out, and then switching toe out, heel in. Really appreciating that different muscles are responsible for each of these 2 positions. Toe in and toe out. On the last one, holding here with toe in, heel out. starting to draw small circles. As we do this, we're trying our best to keep everything else absolutely frozen. This rotation is coming from the hip, not just the ankle. Reverse directions. Last 3, 2, and 1. Bend that knee in and down. Perfect. From here, we're going to lift our legs back into tabletop, finding a position where the knees are directly over the hips, seeing our toes just above the knees. From here, exhale, push one leg straight. Inhale it back into tabletop. Exhale, push the other leg straight and back into tabletop. There should be no change in the belly or the back as you straighten one leg. Maybe hands come to the belly to observe. Last one on each side. Good. And from here, hold this tabletop, starting to hinge down from one hip, maybe tapping heel down to the floor and lifting it back up. If you're noticing any changes happening in your back, don't go down quite as far. So only go down as far as you can control. If that means only a few inches, then that's okay. We're inhaling down and exhaling back up. Last one on each side. Perfect. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself some circles here. We're going to take a release for the low back. So, as your hands pull your knees into your chest, your knees are going to push away from your chest. We're going to do both of those at the same time, and I want you to feel a nice opening sensation through your low back. And then relax. Again, your hands are pulling in, your knees are pushing away, and both of those are happening at the same time. You don't have to pull or push very hard to get the benefits of this one. And relax. Last one here. Exhale, push and pull. Perfect. And relax. We're going to lift our legs straight up towards the ceiling. As straight as you can with the knees, but a little bit bent is okay. We're going to try to just lift the tailbone up off of the mat without using much momentum. So pretend like there's a string attached from your toes going straight towards the ceiling. Exhale just a little tiny lift. Last 2 and 1. Hold those legs lifted. See if you can connect heels together, toes apart. Squeeze the backs of your inner thighs together. We're going to make a circle going clockwise and counterclockwise. If you want to make this more challenging, make your circle bigger. If you want to make it less challenging, make your circle smaller. You're exhaling at the bottom of the circle, continuing to reverse directions each time for our corkscrew. Last one in each direction. And hug those knees into the chest again. Perfect. Go ahead and roll over onto your side for me. Head either resting in your arm or supported by your hand, whatever is more comfortable. To set ourselves up in our side lying position, we want hips stacked one on top of the other, meaning the top hip's not rolling forward or rolling back. Maybe your top hand monitors this. Top hand just somewhere other than in front of you on your mat. So, from here, pull your belly button up and in, and continue normal breathing here. You should get that sensation of kind of lifting up. A great way to activate the core with gravity as our resistance. We're going to start with our top leg lifting up at the height of the top hip. And I want you to lengthen it even longer than you think you can. So pretend like someone is pulling that leg away from the center of the body. This almost shifts the hips down an inch. From here, keep that length, and we're going to inhale, kick that leg forward for 2. Exhale it back for 2. Only kicking as far as you can while maintaining stillness through the upper body. Inhale forward, exhale back. On this next one, introducing our bicycle kick. Bend and extend, reach long. Check back in with the core, make sure it's still lifted. Check back in with the leg, make sure it's still up at the height of the hip. On this next one, reverse directions, forward and extend backward. Last one here, reach that leg long again, working the rotation of the hip like we did on our back. So, pointing the toe up, heel down, and then toe down, heel up. Thinking about just this spinning motion, as if there was a line going straight through the center of your leg, so that the top hip doesn't roll forward or roll back as you do this. On this last one, hold with toe down, heel up. Give me little tiny lifts here, leading with the heel for last 2 and 1. Bend that top knee so that it comes down in front of you on your mat. Another option is to have the foot flat in front of you with knee pointing up. Whatever is more comfortable here. Extend the bottom leg all the way straight and long. Exhale, lift the bottom leg up as high as you can, squeezing with the inner thigh, and then slowly lower down. Exhale, lift, squeeze, and lower. Maybe you can see your foot on the other side of your hip. That's how high you're squeezing up. On this last one, hold lifted, little circles here. For 3, 2, reverse directions. For 3, 2, last one, hold lifted, squeeze up as high as you can, breathing here for 3, 2, and 1, slowly lower down. Take that top leg back up and over. We're going to do a développé here. So, top toes connect to bottom knee. They're going to point. They're going to extend straight and flex down. So again, it's top toe to bottom knee. Kick out and flex down. Inhale and exhale. On this next one, we're just going to reverse directions. So it's kicking up to the ceiling, bend in, toe to knee, and extend down. Good. Last 2. And 1. Perfect. Bend those knees in towards your chest quite a lot. Take your head down, resting it on your arm for our open book stretch. So top hand comes forward. You're going to reach it forward, inhaling. And then exhale up towards the ceiling. Eyes following your hand, chest comes towards the ceiling. And taking a nice rotation through the spine. When you're ready, back up and over. Option to play around with the position of your arm. Maybe it feels better to have it come up towards your head, opening out wide. Back up and over, last one. Taking some nice deep breaths through this. Back up and over, here, we're going to do a nice 180, so coming all the way around to the other side to set up for our side lying over here. So, same way, head supported on your hand or resting on your arm. Belly button pulled in and lifted, top hand on the top hip, and then extending the top leg long at the height of the hip. Really reach and pull that top leg away from the center of the body as if someone is pulling it. Keep that length. Inhale, sweep forward for 2, and sweep back for 2. Make sure that you're not cutting this motion short. You should be really squeezing the glute back behind you. Inhale to the front, exhale to the back. Making sure that your rib cage isn't opening and closing as you do this. Again, everything stays still. On this next one, starting those bicycle kicks, bend and extend, sweep long and straight. Our kick is only as big as we can control through the center. On this next one, reverse directions. On this last one, bring it straight down up underneath you. Reach that leg super long and start to rotate it, toe pointing up, heel down, and then toe down, heel up. Keep switching and rotating. Nothing else is really moving except for this spinning sensation. Appreciating the different muscles that are working here. Top hip isn't rolling forward or rolling backwards, they're staying stacked. On the last one, hold here with toe down, heel up, little pulses up. Breathing here for last 3, 2, 1. Bend that top knee so that it's coming to your mat, either here or foot flat, whatever is more comfortable. Extend the bottom leg nice and straight and long. Exhale, lift that bottom leg up as high as you can. Get 1 inch higher than you think. And slowly lower. Trying not to just plop it back down. Exhale, squeeze, maybe looking for that foot on the other side of your hip. On this last one, hold lifted little tiny circles. And reverse directions. By now, our bottom leg should be feeling like 1,000,000 pounds. On our last one here, lift up as high as you can. Lift 1 inch higher. Squeeze and breathe for last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower that bottom leg. Top leg comes back up and over. Starting out with our développé. So, top toes come to bottom knee. Point. Extend and flex down. Point in, extend up, and flex down. Making sure that, again, those hips stay relatively stacked so that when you extend the bottom leg up, it's a little bit more at an angle and not so much straight up towards the ceiling. On this last one, reverse directions. Flex up to the top, bend in and lower. Good. Last one here. Perfect. Relax the top leg. Bend those knees in close to your chest, hugging them up to secure your hips. Head drops down on your arm. Top arm lengthens long. Inhale, and then as you exhale, starting to open the book. That top arm can be straight, it can be bent, it can be up and down, whatever feels best for you. Maybe closing it back up. Again, reach it long, back up and over. Last one. Perfect. Roll over onto your back for me, crossing it into our figure four. Doesn't matter which side you start with, we're gonna do both. With this figure four, I invite you to bring some rocking into it, some motion. Maybe pressing that opposite knee away, or folding yourself into a little pretzel. Whatever position gets you that perfect stretch in the spot that we just worked. Making sure that as you reach up underneath your leg, if that's how you're doing it, that you're keeping your head, neck, and shoulders relaxed. So if you notice your chin jutting up towards the ceiling, find a way to hold on to your legs without you straining to reach. As you're stretching, exhale, pull in a little bit further, melting those hips down to the ground. When you're ready, switching sides, other ankle crossing over the knee. Other options here are to just hug one knee into the chest, holding on towards the other shoulder. Again, wherever you feel the best stretch, that might be different for everyone. Remembering that our glutes don't just run in one direction, so they kind of fan in from the inside to the outside. So this rocking motion is helping us to stretch not only the muscle fibers running in one direction, but all of the ones to the inside and the outside as well. Last deep breath here. From here, extend the arms and legs super long away from the center of the body, maybe flexing the feet and reaching, getting as long as you can. And then starting to slowly turn over onto the belly. Still arms and legs reaching long. From here, keeping the head nice and neutral, we're going to reach opposite arm and opposite leg very long away from the center of the body. Belly button lifting up and off of the mat. And then reaching so long that you're maybe just hovering off of your mat. Head comes with you. And then relax it back down. Switching sides, opposite arm, opposite leg, reach long and lift. And lower. Making sure no pressure or tension comes in through the low back. Exhaling as you lift. On this next one, maybe starting to speed it up just a little bit. We're lifting. Lift. Lift. On this next one, hovering both arms, both legs into a little flutter kick. Think about reaching towards the wall on opposite sides. Last 3, 2, and 1. Relax everything down. We're going to prop up onto our elbows a little bit. This can either be elbows directly underneath your shoulders or elbows a little bit wider if you want a lower position. From here, send your shoulders away from your ears, neck nice and long. For this exercise, all we're trying to do is engage the core gently. So exhale, see if you can lift your belly button up off of the mat and pull up, keeping the hips anchored down. And then relax everything back down. Again, shoulders down away from your ears, neck long. And then from here, just start to exhale, tuck that rib cage under and create a nice long line all the way from the top of your head through your low back. And then relax it all back down. One more like that, shoulders down, neck long, Exhale, lift belly button, tuck ribs down. Breathe normally. And relax that all back down. Taking your hands underneath your chest, pressing back into a child's pose. Knees can widen if that feels good. Arms reaching long, forehead down, and rest everything down. Relax your belly, relax your pelvic floor. Instead of thinking about tightening, just thinking about letting it go. Taking some nice deep breaths here. From here, we're going to stay in this child's pose, but hands are going to flip so that thumbs point up, pinkies point down, and we're going to widen our hands to the width of the mat. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. And then from here, we're going to start a tiny little lift, trying to just hover one arm off of your mat at a time. If it feels like your arm is 1,000,000 pounds, that's okay. This exercise should be challenging. We're trying to do this lift without letting our shoulder creep up towards your ear. So main goal is to keep those shoulder blades pointing down. Last one on each side. Perfect. Slowly coming up onto hands and knees. On our hands and knees position, we're going to take our focus to our head and our neck. So a lot of times we can find a flat back through the spine, but then our head is drooping down. So with hands directly underneath the shoulders and knees directly underneath the hips, find your flat back and then find your neutral head position. So what that looks like is you're going to press the back of your neck towards the ceiling. Your face is still looking down at your mat. One thing that sometimes helps is to think about something that smells bad in between your hands. So you're trying to lift up and away from that. Your chin tucks down just slightly and hold that position. Your shoulders are nice and broad in your upper back, meaning that you're not sinking down here, you're pressing and lifting away. Hold that position and just breathe. And then go ahead and shake everything out and relax it down. Let's find that again. So again, start with just your head relaxed as you normally would on hands and knees. So broaden your upper back, press your hands down strong into your mat, and then lift the back of your neck, almost like there's a string attached from the top of your head, pulling you away from your tailbone, and lifting your face directly away from the mat as if something smells bad. Hold that and breathe. If that feels okay, and if it feels like you're in a good position, maybe one arm reaching up overhead and then back down, alternating sides. Nothing else moves or changes or shifts. Engaging the core, pulling it up towards the spine. Check back in with your head to make sure it hasn't dropped down. Last one on each side. Perfect. Sitting back into child's pose again, relax your head. Nice deep inhale and exhale. From here, we're going to come into a plank position. You can do this on your hands or your forearms. You can do this on your feet or on your knees. From here, we're just going to start with a nice hold. So finding a nice long position, one leg straightens and then the other, and just hold. Taking what we just talked about with the head and neck into this plank position as well. So making sure that your head is still attached to your body and it follows along with your spine. So again, face directly looking at your mat, top of the head reaching long, and top of the shoulders and your upper back is nice and broad. Breathe here. If you feel your form starting to droop, take a break. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Knees gently come down. If you are on your hands, shake out your wrists if you need to. This second set here, all we're going to change is just a little shifting forward and back. So again, finding our nice strong plank, one leg and then the other. From here, we're just going to point toes and flex toes. So your whole body moves as one unit. Your hips don't lift up or lower. Good, last one here. And take a little break. Shake out those hands if you need to. Our last set here is going to be some hip dips. So, if you can, we're going to come back into our plank one more time. Nice long line. And then from here, we're just going to have one hip drop down. And then finding it back up towards the center. Other side drops down. And center. See if you can do this without moving your heels. So instead of letting the whole leg rotate, just rotating through the pelvis. Last one on each side. Perfect. Relax down. Back into child's pose. Coming into your hands and knees again, we're going to take a nice thread the needle. So inhale, right arm comes up towards the ceiling, looking towards that hand. Exhale, thread it through. Right ear comes towards the ground. Inhale it back up. And 2 more times, exhale, thread it through. And the last one. Perfect. Switching sides, left hand comes up towards the ceiling, reaching. Exhale, thread it through, left ear towards the ground. And back up. And thread. Last one. Perfect. Hands coming back down. We're going to sweep our legs forward, bringing them right out in front of us. Feet are going to separate about the width of our mat, flexing the feet. Sitting up as tall as you can. Arms are going to come out to the T. Lift up and out of the waist, sitting up as tall as you can. Exhale, twist and pulse. 2, 3, and center. Exhale, twist. 2, 3, and center. Feel like you're wringing out a towel and lengthening as you do so. On this last one, same thing, except hands are going to come behind the head. Ask yourself if this is easier or more challenging to do. Last one. Relax forward towards your toes. Relax your head, relax your neck. Maybe rocking from side to side. Perfect. Shake those feet back to the center. And from here, hands are going to come towards your chest, elbows bent. Pretend like there's a ball in your lap. We're going to exhale and reach up and over that ball, pulling your belly button in as hard as you can. And then reaching up, hands towards the ceiling. Hands back to the chest. Inhale, and then exhale, reach up and over that ball. And hands up. Last one, hands to the chest. Exhale, reach up and over. And back up. Perfect. Bend those knees. Toes up towards the ceiling. And then hands out in front of you, maybe palms face upwards. Round your back as much as you can and relax your shoulders away from your ears. From here, we're going to lift and hover one leg up and then tap it back down. Keep alternating sides here. Keep reminding yourself to relax your shoulders away from your ears. Either stay here in marching or hover both legs up in your boat pose and just hold and find stillness. Feel all those tiny muscles activating, turning on and off. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Relax down in butterfly. Soles of the feet come together, knees wide, nose towards your toes. One more set of our boat pose. Bending the knees back up towards the ceiling. Shoulders relaxed down by your ears. Either marching or finding our boat pose again. And trying to be as still as possible. Breathing here. If you want to challenge, maybe taking the arms wide to the side and exhale it back in. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Last one. And back into your butterfly, soles of the feet together, nose to toes. Taking a nice little twist here, right arm up towards the ceiling, looking towards that hand, feeling a nice stretch in your lower back. And switching sides. Left arm up towards the ceiling, looking towards that hand. Good. Go ahead and spin your butterfly to the front, crisscrossing your legs. Sit up nice and tall, maybe taller than you feel like you can, finding some new length through your spine. And then either right hand or right elbow is going to come towards your mat, anchoring your left hip down, reach up and over. Nice long line. Taking some deep breaths. Maybe circling that top arm. 2 and 3. Back up and over. Switching sides, either hand or elbow, reaching long. Circle the top arm. 2 and 3, back up and over. And bringing it back up to the center, clasp your hands together, reach your hands forward while your chest goes back, looking at your belly, and breathing into that upper part of our back. As you inhale, really expanding into the back. Option to take both hands over to one side and then the other. Back to the center, reach your hands back behind you, lift and open your chest, maybe looking upwards slightly. Inhale, and exhale. Sitting back up nice and tall. We're going to inhale, shoulders come up towards your ears. We're going to squeeze our hands, our eyes, our toes, every single muscle that we possibly can. All that tension and pressure in, and then exhale, shake it out and relax it down. One more like that. Everything up and in. Think about all of that tightness. And exhale, release it, shake it out. Awesome, awesome job, you guys. As always, if you have any questions at all,